Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, last episode we literally tried to understand light as it hits our eye. The light from the people in front of us, the light from the people in question in our mind. There are near ones, there are dear ones, there are friends, there are close colleagues in the office, there are bosses, there are leaders, there are parents. There are grandparents, there are idols. All those valuable people sitting in the gallery of our mind, sitting in the gallery of the mind, are emitting light to us. They're emitting light to us, and we are trying to decipher that complex message and understand it via he's good to us, he's bad to us, he's good then, he's bad then, he's angry in the morning, he is quiet in the evening, he's confident, he's good for this play, he's good for that play, he's good for this role, he's good for that role. Are we? Aren't we? Are we? Aren't we? Should we? Shouldn't we? There are near and dear ones. They are friends, their sons and daughters, their father and mother, their guardians. Some of these are our saviors. Some of these are our sponsors. Some of these are our mentors. So, what do we understand of them is based on the light that they throw to us. And light could be one of the biggest illusions. It could be one of the biggest illusions. We have dreams, and dreams are well lighted. There's rarely a dream that we see which has got darkness around it. So, if this is the way we are going to intercept personality, or this is the way we are going to intercept personality, the onus is on us. And the kind of responsibility we will hold towards that measure is the kind of fineness of judgment that should be in us. We should have that exquisite character of making a judgment and announcing that judgment. Announcing is, again, we're going back to the verbal content, which is a chapter in itself. Gurukul is running another series on communication. It's very human. At the same time, it is very complex. So what a big block this. So what a big decision-making block it is. So what a big decision-making block it is. And let me empathize with you. We've already talked about those 120-degree splits so as to get an isometric view. We already talked about number of faces, and we have somehow no means of seeing all those faces together. And these faces cannot be seen By your initiative, somebody also has to cooperate to enable you to see all the faces. And it may not happen a lifetime. A lifetime may not be good enough to get a view of all those six faces of a cube. And cube is a jolly well innocent entity. It's an innocent entity. We believe the shape is not going to change. But human, but 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 human character doesn't assure you about the geometric proportionality for any length of time, for any length of time beyond the split second. If you can see the change, you will always see the change. If you can see the change, you will always see the change. Okay, the first sip of my favorite drink, let's say an Indian tea or a Chinese tea or a Japanese tea, the first sip will taste different compared to the second, compared to the third, compared to the fourth. Most people, they say, have the fifth sip of the tea in a different psychological environment compared to what it is in the first four sips. The research says so. What am I talking about? Am I alarming you about the dynamics? The first sip, second sip, third sip, fourth sip, probably it will take less than a minute. And then later part of the tea is drunk very subconsciously. Our consciousness with respect to that sip, the number of sips, prevails only for the first four sips. Whether the number is 4 or 8 or 40, we don't have to worry so much. But there is a trend, and that trend is defining part of our behavior. It's a defining part of our behavior. I started doing this workshop on personality about 25 years back. But I started talking about personality maybe, right when I was 10 years. And I found a difference in my approach as I started being on the center stage of holding a treatise on personality and competence, on personality. And then little later, I thought, why do we bother about personality? If we are looking at the performance, let me look at the competency. So the performance could come through varied routes. Everybody has his own plans and program to deliver a performance. Everybody has a different program. But personality itself became a very, very lively, I'm just being polite about the expression, very, very violent, very intense. That subject is so ruthless to any researcher worth his salt. It ruthlessly plays havoc. It ruthlessly plays havoc with hundreds of scientists and machineries working. Do we predict the climate of London next to ours? Can we? Even in a place like India, can we predict the climate? The reason is there's a large space which is affecting this little space that I live in, the city I live in, the place in the city that I live in. But there is a large infinite tunnel which is gathering air and moisture and dust and the heat, and it's channeled. It is continuous. There's no break. Therefore, I might think I'm staying in a city, but I'm staying in the world and I'm staying in a universe of happenings. How do you like that? We are staying in the universe of happening, and the more sensitive and more surer, I'm sorry, more sensitive, surer we are, the faster we'll change. I will myself not know which train I'm traveling in, which destination I'm going for, whether it is a moon or sun in the sky, whether it is a violent sea or it is a lake, whether there is a canal or there is a river, whether there is a plant or there is a tree, there is a solace or it's a pure physical rest. There is faith or just an action of prayer. There is a God in the idol, or there is a godliness without any symbol. Whether there is a view or there is a perspective. Whether I see what I see or whether I just whether I just perceive or imagination. We are in a violent space. Neither do we see ourselves clearly enough, nor can we see others clearly enough, nor can we see others clearly enough. I'm just stopping at the point of seeing others. I'm yet not talking about analyzing others. I'm a simple, honest mathematician who realized at an early stage in life, I can't progress without mathematics. I would probably look an emotional idiot if I don't work on mathematics. And believe it or not, we will not tax you any further than a fourth standard mathematics. But that is compulsory part of our endeavor. In a sense, personality and competency is not a book that I'm reading before you. Yours sincerely is the author of a book, Map Your Competency. But I'm not here to read the book. I'm here to create a mission. Lifetime is not enough. I bet and I promise very humbly. I bet and I promise lifetime is not enough to understand what the model is, what the human being is. What we have seen is our understanding, or it is just a picture. Picture and understanding, they're two different things. Are we in integration with each other, or we are in relationship with each other? Is this a covalent bond or an electrovalent bond that I have with my bonding, with my bonded, which I have with my bonded? Could we play a compliment? Could we play a compliment to the spiritual mathematic? Could we play a compliment to the spiritual mathematic, which has created all of us, which has been dictating its terms with all of us? And we have several programs running in one person, several responses to several stimuli in one person. And like that, there are millions and millions and millions of us. And we are all living as one society, one people, one community, one religion, humanity, one creed, professionals, chartered accountants, doctors, liars, all under one roof, the roof of the Almighty. Could we play a compliment to that spiritual mathematic, which I'm humbly and honestly trying to decode, so that discussions and understanding about personality is much more humble, much more research oriented. That I love a human being around me and therefore I research into him. I no more love a person around me because I'm dependent on him. No, because I'm researching into him. Without research, it'll be pretty dishonest on my part to talk to you on this personality and competency. Thank you very much. We'll meet again on this very interesting, very challenging, very intricate subject of life. Thank you for being with me.